Hi there, it's Ali from Design by Ali, and today I'm going to be videoing a card I've made, and this is an anniversary card for a friend's husband from her. And so I've used an embossing folder, and I've used some designer series paper as well as my regular cardstock. This particular card is quite a large card. It's an 8¼ by 5¾ inches hobbycraft card, which comes in a set of about 20 cards. I'm using that one, and it's actually got a hammered texture to it, so which is why I like to leave a little white border around the edge of the paper itself so that you can still see part of the hammering of the card, because I always think that looks quite nice. So the card I'm working on now is a 5×7 just plain white cardstock, and I've embossed that with the We Are Memory Keepers woven embossing folder, and I've obviously blended that in a sort of a brownie colour. And then I've die cut out these leaves and flowers. This range is just an Amazon range, nothing branded, and but they're really lovely flowers and foliage to use. And in particular, the one I'm about to do is really lovely to use for Christmas as well, because it has tiny little sort of beads on the end of it. This one now that I'm doing, and then you can actually put red on those, on the beads, and make it look like a sort of a part of a holly thing with berries, which is really lovely. So I've used that, and I've blended those in green. The colours that I'm using there are just called Let's Colour, just an Amazon brand, but I've got all different shades of those, so they're quite handy to use rather than get out all your ink pads, all different colours. And I've put blue on the flowers just because I want to keep it masculine, really. So I thought blue would blend in with that charcoaly blue designer series background. And as you can see, I've gone darker in the middle of the flower and then lighter towards the edge. And again, with the name of the gentleman, I've actually die cut that out. So that is actually going to be double ink blended and put on so that it's got a bit of a tone to it. And I'm now cutting out the basket shape, which is sort of an offset rectangular shape, and that's going to be the centre focus of the card itself. And then I'm going to have all the flowers and foliage rearranged and coming out of the basket. But I thought what would be quite nice is if I actually put the name of the gentleman also coming out of the basket. And originally I was just going to do it as all the letters on stems. And then I thought, why not put those actually on the flowers themselves, as I did 4 flowers, and the gentleman's name is only 4 letters. And I thought that worked out quite nicely. So I'm glad that I actually went with a slightly darker version on the names and initials themselves. So I've put the flowers with double-sided foam tape on the back, and just stuck down all the foliage with the Zig 2-way pen, which I get from Amazon. Those glue pens are really handy, very, very sticky, but really, really handy. They go on blue, so you can clearly see where you've put adhesive, and then they dry clear, which is really nice, so it doesn't show on any of the cards. So there I am, just actually putting down all the letters of his name on the flowers, and that will actually go right across the front of the card. Now you see I've left the right hand side of the card free, just because the scalloped rectangle that's been die cut is going to be stamped with a happy anniversary stamp. I'm going to put through there. And then also at the bottom right, I need to create something as the gentleman is actually a huge Elvis fan. So I needed to have something in mind, and what I thought was either like a music sheet or a script of newspaper script, and then incorporate the words Elvis on that, which of course I don't have a huge amount of room there. So I decided that I would probably go with a music script and put down Elvis rules, something like that, onto the actual music sheet itself. So it would be quite tiny lettering, and I was going to put that on with a Sakura Jelly Roll Glaze gloss, and put that actually on the front of the card so we can see. So that part's finished. I'm just trimming down the card now. And here is where we will stamp on with the VersaFine permanent ink. We'll stamp that down, and that just says happy anniversary. And that actually has a really nice font to that. So I'm going to put that down with double-sided foam tape, again to give that a 3D element. And then it will be time to actually make the... Oh, actually, before I did that, I decided that I wanted to add some more foliage. So I just created another die cut of that foliage, and then I'm actually going to cut that down into 2 pieces, just so that it fills out some gaps. I wasn't too happy with the amount of gaps on the top of the basket, so as you can see, I'll just cut those down, put some adhesive on them, and then stick them straight onto that basket area. Then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and make the little small sentiment that's going to go on the front with the music sheets. This will actually then finish off the front of the card base. For my cards, I actually always like to stamp inside and actually on the back as well. So on the back of the card, I will do a tiny sentiment, and inside I will do, on this occasion it will say another happy anniversary, but in a different stamp set. So I've just cut down the 3 music sheets, and I'm just going to adhere those on. And then in a moment you'll see that I will write on with the jelly glaze roll pen. Just says Elvis Rules, but it'll be actually quite small. You may not be able to see it on camera. Quite hard to get something, when someone's so fan-based, to get something to not look too tacky on a card. Last week I was asked to do a Tweedledum and Tweedledee, which was quite hard to do and make it look really nice. So anyway, that's down, and there we go, that's the front, which I will then adhere to the cardstock. And again, as I said, leaving a white border around the side, just so that you can actually see the hammering of the card, which actually has a nice feel to it. It's not always practical, especially if you're going to put a lot of embellishments on a card, but it does actually look really nice, rather than sometimes just a plain card if you're not covering up the whole card front. So once that's secure, I will then go about putting my sentiments on inside and on the back. And the stamp sets I'm using, this one here is just from an Amazon stamp set, which is really nice, but it has the large wording on it and also the small. So I'm going to use the large happy and a small anniversary. And the other stamp set is actually from Hobbycraft. And I just found that by chance, and it has some really cute little emblems on, which I thought would be really handy for the backs of cards, and sometimes inside cards as well, just in the corners. So I'm just going to put on a black heart for the back, and I've chosen the black ink, the VersaFine black ink again, just because that's quite masculine. I didn't have anything too bright there. And on the inside again, I was going to go with a black sentiment just to say happy anniversary, and then that leaves plenty of room for the client to actually put their own personalised message inside. And there we go, stamp that in the middle, and that card sentiment's done. So this has been my first card tutorial, and last but not least, I decided to put some Nouveau drops on, and I went with the gold Nouveau drops just because I thought it would slightly just change the colour up. And then I decided afterwards, actually I'll put some blue on as well, because they can go around the flowers, and I think they had a nice touch to the card. They do take a couple of hours to dry, so the cards always have to be left for a little while afterwards, but I think they look really nice. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this is a good video for you. And I look forward to doing the next one. Bye for now.